this is our 1967 GTO coupe, numbers matching 242 with the 400 big block. That's all done up. We bought this as a project pretty well as it sits. A lot of the guys have the dreams of owning these cars. They get into the project, they run out of money, time, end up with kids, never get around to it, and then there it sits in the garage, and the wife has to end up cleaning snow off the van every day and says, get rid of it. So we bought this as it sits. I pulled the body off the frame. The frame actually had the back shock tower was rotted off, and the spring came through the top, and it ended up twisting the whole frame. So the gentleman who owned this car before was very excited about it, bought it, drove it straight home, and then started tearing it apart. He bought numerous new parts for it, redid the engine, the interior, bought new tires, bought all new fenders, southern doors, southern trunk. He spent a pile of money on it, but then got in over his head once he cut the quarter panel out and saw all the rust. Now he also cut the rocker panel out, and was about to start welding it back in again. As you can see, the inner rocker is rotten as well, and that seemed to scare him off, and I'm glad he did. The problem with these cars is they're very large cars, and as they go down the road, they twist and they move, and they have to, otherwise they'll crack. Now if you look at the frame we bought this one town over. It was a southern frame, came from Georgia. It actually still had red clay in there, rusty, a little bit of scale on it. We put it in our baptismal fount, full of molasses, let it sit for a few weeks. It's a molasses mix of 1 to 10. Let it sit and it'll clean it right off. So this is about 2 hours of polishing with an orbital and a wire wheel just to get that little bit of surface rust off, and about a half hour of pressure washing once it came out of the tank. So now, if you see the frame, this is how a frame sits as it's going down the road. It's only got 4 load points, which is your tires. If you weld a car together, whether it be the rockers, quarter panel, floors, trunk, and it's not sitting on the frame, supported on these 4 load points, when you do put the car on there, the whole car will shift and all of your gaps will be off. So what we're doing with this is we are checking the frame to make sure that it's not twisted, that it's according to all the specs. The specs are, just hop online and we can add the link for that to show you the measurements, where to make sure that your frame is straight. You can take it to a body shop, they can do the same thing. You can be a little ingenuitive. I've got some hooks that I poured into my floor when I did the floor here that we can tie it down to and bottle jack and get it straight again. So we're gonna tackle this ourselves. Once we're positive that the frame is in good shape, I'm not gonna paint the frame just yet because we are putting new floors, 1-piece floor in the front, 1-piece trunk in there. We're doing new wheel wells, inner and outer, on both sides. We're doing the lower transitions under the trunk. We're just waiting for those, but that can be done later anyway. And we are also doing a little bit of work on the doors. This door is in good shape other than just the corner, and we've got a new door for the other side, I believe. We're doing new inner rockers and a new outside rocker panel. It's got a little bit of work to be done on the front. That's just little patches here and there. But in order to make sure we're doing it right, what we're doing first is putting the entire car back on the frame, undoing everything the previous owner did. We're assembling the entire car, fenders, hood, front grille, everything back on the frame so that we know it's straight and square. We're gonna line up all our gaps to make sure they're correct. Then we'll cut out the center floor from the firewall to behind the back seat. We're gonna replace that. We're just gonna tack it or self-tap it in place, make sure that doesn't move. Then we're gonna get into the wheel wells in the trunk, and I'm not sure if we are gonna tackle the quarter panel. I made this little paint booth just to paint the frame and small pieces here and there, But for a nice car like this, we'll probably send it out to a professional body job to make sure that they line it up 100%. Little gaps like this. This is the door, but that's not acceptable. We'll see what the southern door looks like, but most likely if you want a 100% true car, you might have to fill it in here and there to line it up. And that's not my area of expertise, but I can do the floors no problem. So once we start lowering the car onto the frame, we'll show you how to tackle the large floor. Still 56 and 3/4. 56 and 3/8. 56 and 1/2. Door. So it's Friday afternoon. After a little bit of swearing and twisting and pushing, we kind of ended up with this. Some of the body lines don't line up. We need to take a break, regroup, and then tackle at it again tomorrow. If it doesn't work today, might work a couple hours from now. But it's starting to look like a car once we have the grills and the hood and everything lashed down along with the flare underneath the wipers. Then we can start bolting everything tight, and then we can attack the floors. So we'll see you next week, and we'll look at it next week.
So follow a variety of projects that include conversions and repairs to anything from Ferraris to chainsaws. And check out the Tape Boss, my newest invention that's coming to market. And remember, if you're not filthy, you're not rich.